Good evening. How is everyone tonight? I'll just give you a second or two to catch on. And yeah, so I've been getting a lot of questions about the liver flush. So I thought I'll come on and do a wee live. But as always, I recommend that you do your own research. I've put the link up on my own page and I'll put it in the event so that you can read through it. It really depends what state your digestive system's in, because what you have to do with the flush, there's a sort of 6-day run-in, and that's why it's quite good if if you've cleaned up your diet for the intermittent fasting. I thought, well, this is a good time to do it because you've cleaned your diet up anyway. You're fasting at night, so it's pretty easy just to put in one day, and it is definitely a hugely powerful protocol. It was designed by, I don't know if design's the right word, but it was Andreas Moritz who wrote Cancer is not, what's it, cancer is a survival mechanism. So his thinking is that the tumours, etc., is the body putting the toxicity into a place because the body really doesn't know what to do with it. So when it comes to cleansing, let's take healing cancer, for example, or a cancer preventative diet, or if you've got cancer or any other, allegedly incurable disease, and you want to flush the body with loads and loads of nutrition, well, it's really important that your drains are clear. Call it in the trade the routes of elimination. So basically, when you're putting a lot of vegetables into the body, that it goes through a filtration system. And this is about the gallbladder and the liver, which is a bit like if you imagine the drain in your bath, and if you never ever clean the drain, all the hairs gather there and whatever else, for me, sand and seaweed, and eventually the water can't get out. And that's what happens when we get a very congested liver and when stones start building in the gallbladder. It's basically things can't get out because there's like a film over the top, and they may be getting out a little bit, but it's not really very efficient and effective. So when we do the flush, we're giving the body the chance to really take the hair out the plug hole, basically. Now, according to Andreas Moritz, he says that he's seen people go into remission with one flush. Now, I'm not making any claims here. What he did say was if you've never done any a liver flush to really completely clear it, he would recommend one a month for a year. So I've never actually got my shit together to do that, but I thought, yeah, I'm going to do one. So basically, you clean up your diet for the 6 days. Now, the other thing that's really important is you can either drink a litre of apple juice, which I actually did the first time, but it doesn't sit right with me drinking fruit juice. So you can also put malic acid into water and drink that. But what I actually do is 4 ounces of apple cider vinegar every day. Now, the reason for that is if there are any stones in there, and there probably will be, then it softens them so that they're not painful to pass. So there is clearly an element here where if you believe that you're very toxic, if you've battered your liver to death the way I have done to mine, you would want to build up to this, do the research, clean up your diet before you launch into something, right? But if you have been cleaning up your diet, if you're very body aware, if you're used to doing stuff like that, then happy days. I highly, highly recommend this protocol. In terms of, I'll tell you exactly what happens. So you've got the 6 days, and that makes sure that you're going to have, if there are any stones in there that are soft, and you're able to get them out, and you will see them in the toilet. And then I think it's at 6 o'clock, if my memory serves me right. But again, you'll go and read. It's the David Wolf one that I follow. It's 6 o'clock at night. Yeah, I think it's 6. You take 2 tablespoons of Epsom salts and you drink that in water. And then you do that again at 8 o'clock at night. So, of course, that then empties your bowel. And then at 10 o'clock, quarter to 10, just before you're going to bed, you get this is the kind of disgusting bit, but it's actually quite easy if you just hold your nose. Half a cup of olive oil, good quality olive oil, and I normally just put half an orange, squeeze half an orange, so you've got the orange juice in it, and then hold your nose and drink it because it obviously kind of gives you the grue putting that fat in your mouth like that. Drink it over, and that's it. You go to bed, meditate. You can pack your liver, a little bit of frankincense, a little bit of castor oil over the top of it, up here, obviously, and you go have a meditation, go to sleep. I've always found actually when I do it, I get a very, very peaceful sleep. It's probably the fat. And then in the morning at 6 a.m., 2 tablespoons of Epsom salts again, and then at 8 a.m., another two. And so you're fasting, I should have said as well, you're fasting from kind of after lunch on the last day, and then you're fasting in the morning till about lunchtime. But I mean, if you're intermittent fasting, it's really not that big a deal. So you get well, well flushed out. So when all the feces have come out the bowel, then you'll start to see these little green. If you look at the link that I've put up on my own page, you'll see it's little green pellets. It's quite fascinating. They can be quite luminescent looking. So you're going to, as soon as you look into that, you're like, right, okay, that is definitely better out than in. So that's really it. That's how simple it can be. So if you have any concerns around it, I mean, people seem to kind of need to psychologically build up to it, but I've done a lot of protocols, as you know, on myself. And see, to be honest, it's not that difficult. It's really, really not that big a deal. Drinking Epsom salts isn't delicious, let's face it. But, there's a lot of treatments that aren't very delicious. So suck it up and just think what a huge favour you're doing for your liver and your gallbladder. Now, is anybody get any questions that they would like me to ask? And I really recommend that you do your own research. I think there's so much conflicting information out there, and there's a lot of different ways to do different things. The main thing to remember with this is cleaning up the diet for the 6 days and putting the malic acid in, whether it's via apple juice powder or apple cider vinegar. That's going to make sure that everything's can just flow out exactly the way it's designed to. So yeah, so a very quick live tonight, just to give you an overview on that. If you are juicing, or if you're putting a lot of soup and stews and lots of vegetables into the body and starting to feel like a bit sluggish, detoxy symptoms, that's quite completely normal. And maybe if you totally ripped it over Christmas and New Year, detox symptoms are very normal and common when you start to clean up your act. And if you don't understand what the body's doing, if you imagine there's a bit of congestion around the liver area, and there can be, even if you don't drink alcohol, if you're eating a lot of fructose, etc., then you can really create a fatty liver without any alcohol because you've been making your own alcohol in here. So when things can't get out, they tend to back up. So again, if you imagine putting the bath tap on and the plug holes is full of stuff, the water backs up, and that's what happens with us. And that's when you'll maybe get a headache. You'll maybe get achy joints, like flu type symptoms. A detox can be quite brutal, and that's telling you you're moving stuff too fast, or that there's congestion in your drains, in your routes of elimination. So you can use EFT to help the process, because obviously you've got the emotional, energetic side to this as well. How much water do you mix with your Epsom salts? I neck it in one go, absolutely. And I just put it in a small glass because, if you put it in a pint glass, you're just going to make more disgusting stuff. So I usually just put it in a glass, probably about that size. So yeah, it's really, and you obviously you have to dissolve it and just get it the way and it totally depends. I would much rather less. Absolutely down the hatch. I'll hold my nose for all of it, all the Epsom salts and the oil, just like that. Get it down, rinse it out with some water afterwards. So you've got the two on the day of the flush, and then you've got the olive oil at 9:45, and then you've got the two the next morning. But you feel great afterwards. And if you don't feel great afterwards, don't worry about that. Sometimes it takes the body a couple of days. Just pay attention to how you feel. I'm going to do mine next Thursday because I'm going to France on Saturday. I don't know if I've mentioned it. So I want to obviously be rocking and rolling for that. And because my diet's been so clean and I have been really paying attention, I've been really back on the horse because I wasn't feeling very great. I'm really excited to really get into this body and clean it out again. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I've covered everything. You'll see it if you can even just Google the amazing liver and gallbladder flush David Wolf, and he'll give you all the information there. So you can just, if you want to join in, you may not want to do it, all, at the same time as me, but you can read up about it and then plan in a time because obviously you're going to go to the toilet a lot, maybe a lot. It depends. I've done it quite a few times now, and sometimes you're like within a half an hour of the Epsom salts, I have to go to the toilet. Sometimes I've not gone at all. Um, so it's you just never know what the body's doing. Really, you just have to allow it. Okay, I hope you've had a great weekend. Remember, back on the horse, and I'll chat to you all. I'll be on here tomorrow at 11. We're going to be doing a little bit of kinesiology, the emotion codes, the body holding the score, so you can really start to deepen this relationship with the body and understand that you actually do know everything you need to know, what you need. And I really, really encourage you, certainly for me, the education and the understanding of the roots of elimination is massive. And when you understand that, you'll want to do it rather than all being a big blur. So the education really gives you the understanding as to what is going on in here. So yeah, thanks a million, and I'll see you tomorrow at 11 if you're around. Ciao.